Okay, let's see what this next puzzle has for us. At first look, it's complicated. There's a lot going on here, and let's see what the computer does. See what we get. There's your first move. Pawn out. 2 steps. And we can't take the pawn with our queen because the rook is behind it and guarding it. This is an aggressive move by the computer. I'll pause the puzzle for 5 seconds and you can get us out of this situation. Okay, hopefully you figured this one out. This is not an easy puzzle. What do I see first? The first thing I see is this pawn has left the king's guard. The 3 royal guard now is the 2 royal guard, and one of them has gone stampeding towards the queen. And it's an aggressive move, but it's a 2-edged sword. It leaves open this diagonal to the king. And can we make use of that? Maybe. How are we going to punish this move? What is wrong with this move that makes it a bad move for the computer? Which in puzzling is usually the first move is usually not a good one. Whenever you see 2 pieces on the opposite team separated by 1 square and you have a pawn that can get in front of them, that's known as a pawn fork. And it's a very, very, very powerful move that you might be able to take advantage of. So now we have 2 things to think about. We have a pawn fork, and we also have the light squares have been weakened for an attack on the king. We don't have the white bishop. That leaves the job to our queen. The queen is the only one else on the board that can become a white bishop, and she happens to be standing on a light square, meaning she is a white bishop. Boy, that looks like a tempting thing to have, the queen here attacking that king. In general, I like to take my best piece and attack the king with it. Unfortunately, we have a pawn in the way, but we do have a good move for that pawn, and it's to fork these 2 pieces, the queen and the bishop. Now, the computer can't just ignore this attack because I'm attacking the queen especially, and the bishop if that doesn't work out. And we have a rook defending that pawn push. This is starting to look pretty good. Let's see what would happen. If we move this pawn up, the queen's got to run for it, or this bishop can just kill that pawn, so that won't work, except it frees up this square for our queen attack. And that means we get 2 moves. We get this attack, and we might see a block, but that doesn't work. And we'll probably see a run, or maybe a block that does work. I know this is slightly downstream, but the first move happens to be moving the pawn up, forking these 2 pieces, a pawn fork, which won't work, but it does free up the square. That's the first move, and it's correct. That frees up this square for our queen to check the enemy king. And so what, you say? What is this? No matter what they do, if they block with this, if they block with this, if they run the king into the corner, if they even block with this queen, all these arrows, all of them fail to our next move after putting the queen here, which is the target of this puzzle, this bishop. Attacking that bishop with backup, and there's nothing they can do about it. This bishop will fall, and even if they recover with their queen, we're going to recover with our rook, and we'll be up a bishop in the end of this puzzle. Very subtle, but that's how you win tougher games against better players. And let's see if that's the correct answer. I'm going to run the queen in, and we'll see what they do. They have, like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4 different moves. They decided with the block of the rook. Not a bad move at all, but one of the better ones, actually. But it still leaves our target bishop with only 1 defender. And we have 2 attackers upon that square. And that's how you know whether or not you stand on the square at the end of the fight or they do. You add up how many attackers you have and how many defenders they have, and you need at least 1 more attacker than they have defenders, and then the victory is yours. And that is the case here. We have 2 attackers, they have 1 defender. That means I can step onto the square and take this bishop. They do return the favor, kill our queen with their queen, but now it's just mop-up operation of killing their queen with our rook, which we knew ahead of time would work, and this should be the end of the puzzle. At this point, they have no further moves that do anything to us, and this should be the end of the puzzle with this rook move here, taking their queen and up a bishop. And that was the correct move. And so now let's take a look to see how many people got that right. I'm predicting not many, but that's my ego talking, because I could figure it out and you could figure it out, but the general population, they're not so bright as we are. And so let's take a look and see how they did. All right, the puzzle rating is 1400. The pass rate is only 70%. 11,000 attempts at this. So this is a really old puzzle, and it's been pretty well established that only 70% of the people at this rating get it right. And this was tricky. This was a tricky one. I had to do some thinking to get it myself. This is not an easy puzzle.
It just got too hard.
It's supposed to be hard. If it wasn't hard, everyone would do it. The hard is what makes it great.
And it requires you to understand several things. Pawn fork, queen attack, forcing a response, and then a follow-up queen attack, picking up the bishop with more attackers than defenders. It's a lot of different things in there. And if you got this one right, yes, excellent. And I'll see you on the next one.